Thank you and good evening. Whereas September 17th, 2012 marks the 225th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize this magnificent document and the anniversary of its creation, and whereas it is fitting and proper to officially recognize the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. Now therefore, I, Jerry Miller, Mayor of the City of Winona, do hereby proclaim September 17th through the 23rd, 2012 to be Constitution Week in Winona, Minnesota, and ask our citizens to reaffirm the ideals of the framers of that the Constitution had in 1787. Thank you. Debbie, you got a presentation to make?
Thank you, Your Honor. Many of you know that we had the Great Dakota Gathering Homecoming this weekend, the 14th, 15th, and 16th, and it was a spectacular event. Everything went really well. We were, the Winona Dakota Unity Alliance was gifted with a handmade star quilt from the Flandreau Honor Guard from South Dakota. It's the Gordon Weston Post. And we decided, the WDUA, we want to gift it to the city to be put in the Dakota Room, which we feel would be the most appropriate place for that to be. It's for the whole community and everyone. So I'll show you what that is.
Very nice.
That's quite an honor that they gave this to us, so we wanted to give that to the city.
We should make sure that we send an official thank you. Okay, thank you, Debbie. That's all I got.
Nothing, Your Honor.
Nothing? I'll call the roll, please.
Mayor Miller.
Here.
Councilmember Thurley.
Here.
Craig.
Here.
Alexander. Here. Orzechowski.
Here.
White.
Here.
Under the required public hearings, item 2.1 is a public hearing to consider the resolution to levy assessments for unpaid charges. This evening you were distributed an updated assessment roll showing payments through this afternoon.
Okay, I'll open that public hearing and first ask the staff want to say anything about this or any explanations?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Just as a brief reminder, the city has authority under charter, statute, and under city code to assess service charges that the city incurs on behalf of properties to the benefited property and to certify those for payment through taxes. So this is intended to do that.
And if they don't pay it, what happens?
Certified to their taxes.
Okay,
So
to
it's
the
collected as property taxes otherwise would be collected.
Okay, so if you don't pay it and the house is sold, does the city get the money then from the sale of the house? Is that correct?
Yep, because the property taxes would have to be paid.
Okay. All right, anyone present, any questions for the city attorney? Okay, anyone present wishing to speak to the resolution to levy assessments to unpaid charges? Anyone present wishing to speak to the resolution to levy assessments to unpaid charges? Anyone present wishing to speak to the resolution to levy assessments to unpaid charges? All right, seeing none, I'll close the public hearing. Council, what is your pleasure?
Move to adopt the resolution to levy the special assessments.
Okay,
Second.
moved by Al, second by Michelle. Questions or comments? Okay, all in favor of the motion, which is to approve the resolution to levy assessments for unpaid charges. All in favor of that, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Carried.
Item 2.2 is the public hearing on nonconformity ordinance amendments.
Okay, I'll open that public hearing, and again, ask the city attorney to give the public an explanation of this, please.
Mayor and council, this ordinance is basically an update to the city's non-conforming use ordinance. A non-conforming use is a use of property that occurred before the enactment of an ordinance. That use is allowed to continue as long as certain criteria are met. The city's old non-conforming use ordinance was really quite old. This is an expanded ordinance as well, but it's expanded to be compliant with the State Municipal Land Use Planning Act, which is in Chapter 462 of state statutes. So that's what we're planning to do.
Okay, any questions? Okay, anyone wishing to speak to the nonconformity ordinance amendments? Anyone present wishing to speak to the nonconformity ordinance amendments? Anyone present wishing to speak to nonconformity ordinance amendments? Okay, seeing none, close public hearing. Council?
I'll move to approve the resolution, the nonconformity ordinance amendment.
Okay, moved by Debbie. Is there a second? Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Jerry. Questions or comments?
This is an introduction, correct?
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor of the motion, which is to approve the non-conforming ordinance amendments? All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, carried.
Next, we will move to the new business. Item 5.1 is the 2013 City Health Insurance Committee recommendations on health plan designs and rates.
Okay, Mary and Joe?
Mayor and council, this is our annual renewal for our health insurance premiums for 2013. We had the pre-council prior to this to discuss this more in detail. We have a representative with us this evening from the firm of Towers Watson that will review the rates for 2013 with us. I would like to introduce Joe Harton.
Okay, Joe?
Thanks, Mary. Mayor and council, as we discussed in the pre-council meeting this evening, the City of Winona's health insurance plans had another good year from a claims experience perspective. This year, as the Health Insurance Committee reviewed the claims, they are recommending no change to plan design and no change to rates. And as part of that, also, as part of the required request for proposal process every 5 years, the city went out for proposals this year, receiving proposals for healthcare plan administration and stop-loss insurance from the incumbent Blue Cross Blue Shield of Minnesota, as well as Medica and Health Partners. After reviewing those proposals and analyzing them and evaluating finalist presentations from those three finalists, the Health Insurance Committee is also recommending that the city remain with Blue Cross Blue Shield of Minnesota for health care coverage for the coming year. Questions?
Questions? Comments? Okay, let's do 5.1 first. Is there a motion on 5.1?
So moved.
Okay, moved by Debbie, second by Michelle. The motion is to approve the 2013 City Healthcare Insurance Committee recommendation on health plan designs and rates. Al?
Just a comment to thank the committee for their hard work again. As Joe's indicated earlier, this is a good effort on the city's part to pull everybody together and come up with a plan that works for us and the taxpayers.
Okay, Debbie?
And Joe, for the audience and those at home as well, when we put this out for bid, it's by state statute every 5 years, is that right?
That's correct, yes. Through a request for proposal process
Right.
where the statute basically reads that the city or the jurisdiction is not required to take the low bid, but it's just required to go out and receive proposals every 5 years. And this is pursuant to that process.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? All in favor of the motion wishes to approve the 2013 City Health Insurance Committee recommendation on health plan design and rates. All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, carried.
Item 5.2
Okay,
is the 2013 rates for the employee life insurance, long-term disability insurance, flexible spending, and health reimbursement account administration.
okay, do we have a motion on that?
So move.
Second.
Moved by George, second by Michelle. Questions? Debbie?
Mary, could you kind of give us an overview, please?
This is the annual review for our 2013 rates for life insurance and long-term disability, flexible spending, and a health reimbursement account. And as you can see from the numbers, it's basically all good news. The life insurance rate that is being quoted is less by at least 20% from what we're currently paying. Long-term disability is also projected to be less for 2013 than 2012. And then the flexible spending and the health reimbursement account is also less. So it looks like it would be a good year, and Joe can make a couple comments with that as well.
Just one thing to add to that, we, to sort of increase efficiency, we included the life and the disability and the flexible spending account administration as part of the RFP process that we talked about for the medical, and that's what resulted in the decrease on the life insurance side. So now we're covered on those coverages as well for the next 5 years.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, all in favor of the motion, which is to approve the 2013 rates for employee life insurance, long-term disability insurance, flexible spending, and health reimbursement account administration. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, carried. Okay, thank you, Joe. Thank you. Okay, now we'll go to,
Next, we will do item 5.4, the renewal of the FBO agreement.
okay, we went through this. Keith, you want to give a brief review?
Mayor and Council, FBO is the fixed base operator out at the airport. We have 5 leases currently with the fixed base operator, and those are expiring, several of those are expiring in 2015. What is being proposed now is new leases for all 5 of them with all the same terms. That would be a 10-year term and 2 5-year terms after that, so a total of 20 years. So all of the 5 leases would ultimately expire in 2032. And the leases, there's a variety of fees being charged. The leases define who's responsible for what the responsibilities of the fixed-base operator are. It defines the buildings. We have the main hangar building, lean-to with offices in it. We have the old administration building. We have 2 T-hangars, which consist of 12 different hangar facilities. And then we have the old Watkins, or old technical school building. All of those are leased by the fixed base operator, which is B2W, which most people know better as George Boland. So my request to you tonight is that you approve all 5 of the leases at one time for B2W.
Okay, anyone have any questions of Keith while he's up? Okay, Council, what is your pleasure?
I'll move to approve the 5 attached leases.
Moved by Michelle, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Jerry. Questions? Okay, all in favor of the motion, which is to approve the renewal of the FBO agreement, all in favor of that, say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Carried. George, you want to say something?
Mayor, council members, I want to thank all of you on behalf of our 10 part-time and full-time employees. Some of them are working right now, and some of them are here today. But outstanding work by the city manager, director of public works, and the city attorney on this project, and ourselves. And we look at this as communities of this size, professionally or cooperative issues, and we really appreciate all the cooperation we've had. So speaking on behalf of our employees, thank all of you for it.
Okay, thank you.
And we will return to the petitions, requests, and communications. Item 3.1 is the Winona Senior High Homecoming Parade on Friday, September 21st.
Move to approve the request.
Moved by Debbie,
Second.
second by Michelle. Questions or comments?
This includes the request by the police department to add additional traffic control. What do we see?
Police reserves will be requested to provide volunteers to staff the barricades.
Yeah, this is,
Police department recommends more people be assigned.
Yeah.
Is that
It says
included?
staff.
Staff is going to coordinate with.
staff's going to coordinate, it says, so,
That's just the understanding. of that.
yes,
Okay.
All right.
as is. on the
Sounds
agenda.
good. I know there was some trouble with some barricades down in the east end, I heard this morning, by the railroad down there.
I don't know. I don't believe so.
Better put the guard out on them. All right, any other questions or comments? Al?
Just a comment again that, we have closures of residential streets around the stadium, that the group worked with the residents to allow access as best as they can during the event.
Okay, any other comments, questions? All in favor of the motion, which is to approve the Winona Senior High School homecoming parade street closure. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, carried.
Item 3.2 is the Winona State University Homecoming Parade on October 20th.
Move to approve that request.
Second.
Moved by George, second by Michelle. I think it's the same route they've had for the last few years.
Mr. Reed is here if you have questions.
Any questions for Winona State? If not, we're looking forward to it. They guarantee a win and everything, right? Okay, all in favor of the motion, which is to approve the Winona State University homecoming parade request? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, carried. Good.
Item 3.3 is the no parking request for Motor Parts and Equipment Car Show for Sunday, September 1st, 2013. Move to approve the request.
Moved by Debbie,
I'll second it.
second by Jerry.
What I see here down here, administration recommends approval of the request with a caveat that they're not allowed. This last year, which was just a couple of weeks ago, they did park. We did get approval to park on the grass. The pre-registration was so overwhelming, and the show went so well. So rather than planning at the last second, and Chad and I worked it out, I would like to move for the, granting the request once again, but how about recommends that they work beforehand if the area needs to be expanded to include the grass area. It was not a problem at all, it worked out fine, but I don't want to limit it tonight. I'd just like to see if they could still make it fit.
Okay, why don't you amend that then?
I'll
Amend the
add that
motion.
into the overall motion, that we grant the request provided that it's not limited, but they have to work starting now with administration to make sure it's parked in the right spot.
Okay, is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Second by
So we
Al.
have two motions then.
No,
No, just
he
the one
seconded.
motion to
Well,
include,
'cause I
kind
made
of
the
changing the
motion.
You
bottom.
made the motion.
I made the
he
motion,
amended.
you
Oh, I'm sorry.
seconded it, so you want me to make the amendment, is that,
Oh.
how do you want that?
Can he make the amendment or not?
Councilor Craig can move the amendment, you can vote on the amendment.
Yeah, that's what we're
And
gonna
then
do.
it will be adopted, and then-
So he made an amendment to the original.
All right, I
motion.
second the original motion, but then I'll move to amend the original motion to state that they work with administration prior to make sure that if it's going to be parked on the grass, where, et cetera.
Okay, is
And
that
I'll
okay
second.
with you? Who made
Yes.
the
I'll
motion?
second the amendment.
I will second the amendment, okay.
The thing is, in past years, they've always said that. That's been go wherever you want to, put the barricades up, take them down, do whatever, don't park in the grass. Well, this last year, man, was it successful. So they had to park in the grass, but it was done perfectly, and so just don't want to limit it for next year, and then they have to work with Chad to beforehand rather than at the last second.
Okay, any discussion on the amendment? Okay, all in favor of the amendment, which is to include working with administration to work out the parking situation. All in favor of the amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, carried. Any questions on the main amendment or the main motion as amended? Okay. All those in favor of the motion, which is so there's no parking down there when they have the car show as amended, all right? All in favor of that, say aye. Aye. Those opposed, carried, all right.
Item 3.4 is the request for handicap parking stall on Winona Street at 664.
Move to approve that request.
Okay, moved by Michelle, is there a second?
Second.
George, questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, which is to approve the request for the handicap stall on Winona Street? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, carried.
Item 3.5 is the September sand moratorium report.
Okay, Carlos?
Since council's last sand moratorium report in July, the planning commission has completed the 5 actions that are on the agenda item. The commission is on schedule with the sand moratorium timeline and is on their last topic right now. The next step would be review of a draft final report before sending it, forwarding it to the city council.
Okay, questions?
And when does that get forwarded to council then? How far, when, what month?
I'm hoping to forward it sometime in November or December.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions of Carlos? Okay,
Thank you.
And we will move to new business, item 5.3, revision to the alternate side parking ordinance.
okay, that information, Keith.
I move to introduce the attached ordinance.
Okay, moved by Jerry, is there a
Second.
second by Debbie? Questions?
This is introduction to ordinance tonight, and it's just some minor changes. We've met with the police department, the street department, the city attorney's office, and public works, and talked about things that could be changed. And one of them, first of all, is the change for the alternate side parking only on Market Street between 2nd and 4th. We recently put in the ordinance where all of those spots were exempted from the alternate side parking ordinance. This section doesn't need to be exempted and is requested to be included back in the alternate side parking. The other revision that we have is previously the ordinance said that all former Winona Township streets and roadways would be exempted. A lot of people don't know what that means. So we defined those streets, and I'd be glad to read those off if you want. Then there's, additionally, we also included some streets, maybe I better, that were in the same area that apply to the same kind of thing. Streets would be exempted would be Sunnyside Lane, Jetterman Drive, Harvest Lane, Country Drive, Oscamp Circle, Gilmore Valley Road, Crestlock Way, Wildwood Drive, JB Drive, Thomas Lane, Barbara Court, Michaelwood Drive, Lorraine Court, Sharon Court, Marion Court, East Garvin Heights Road, Losey Drive, Glen Mary Road, Glendale Road, West Burns Valley Road, which lies west of Glen Echo Lane, East Burns Valley Road, and Old Goodview Road. Those are ones that are formerly in the township, and the other ones that are similar would be Maple Lane, Willow Lane, Wild Ridge Drive, Bluffview Drive, Bluebird Court, Hickory Lane, Birch Boulevard, Evergreen Lane, Old Highway 43, and Cobblestone Lane. So there are other smaller sections within the community, but these are new to the ordinance.
So those that you just read would be exempt from it?
Exempted from the alternate side parking. So no change in the former Winona Township, and then there's been an intermix of some streets that are in the same area, but were not actually Winona Township streets. Now we're putting those in the same category.
All right, any questions, comments? All in favor of the motion, which is to approve the revision to the alternate side parking ordinance. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed, carried.
Item 5.5 is the certification of completion, final estimate, and resolution of acceptance for the Maxwell Field Storm Sewer.
Move to approve the attached resolution.
Moved by Al, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Michelle, questions? You get 100% back, right?
Yes.
Winona State will pay 100% for this. Okay, questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, which is to approve the certification of completion, final estimate, resolution acceptance for Maxwell Field Storm Sewer. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, carried.
Item 7.1 is council concerns.
Okay, we'll start with George tonight.
Okay, I would just a couple of acknowledgements. I'd like to send out well wishes and a speedy recovery to one of our former council members, Harlan Knight, who is recovering, and we wish him well and his wife and family well too as he begins his recovery process. And also, we have a young man in the east end of Winona who I believe on September 22nd will be celebrating his 100th birthday, and that is to longtime East End resident Edmund Dulek. So, happy birthday, Ed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Debbie?
I was informed, Julie Fassbender, who's in the Park Rec Department, let me know that the city just received a $500 grant for Play City, and it's a result of the community build project model that recently they did at the East End Rec Center Neighborhood Park. And if people have been following this, I know I had brought originally some of that information to staff to look into, and it was a lot of work up front for the Playful City. That's part of that. So now we see that we were able to get a grant because we were given, the city of Winona was given the designation of Playful City USA, and this is our second year of that designation. So that affords us the opportunity to have that pool of monies that they have for different projects that we can apply for as well. So very happy about that, for that $500 grant that helps with that neighborhood park area.
That's it. Michelle? Jerry?
Nothing.
Al?
Happy New Year, it's Rosh Hashanah.
Thank you.
That's all.
All right.
Under the consent agenda, there are 3 items. Approval of the minutes from September 4th, the final adoption of an ordinance to update the 2013 fees, and an ordinance to amend the rental housing license code.
Move to approve the consent agenda.
Moved by Debbie. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by George. All in favor of the consent, which is approval of minutes and 2 ordinances. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, carried.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we adjourn.
Okay, moved by Jerry.
I'll second it.
Second by Al. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, those opposed. Quite a half hour.
Yeah, for
Thank you.
sake of the letter. Do
Thank
you want
you,
to
Al.
write a letter?